Can you hear that?
No.
You can't hear the music?
No.
Justin, you can hear it though, right?
Yeah, I can.
Oh man.
Just pretend
like there's 6 music going on in the background. Just pretend like it's Ray Jin or something.
Yeah.
I'm shocked you didn't play that one. Well, I guess you still gotta do your own.
Well, I'll get into that in a minute. All right, welcome back to another episode of On the Throne with Dick. And, big shout out to Senjin Boychuk there, recently married now. Good for him, good guy, for that crazy intro-outro music. And today I have 2 guests. One special guest co-host, Justin Sider. What's going on, buddy?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Oh, lots has changed since our viscosity, fiasco.
I can't wait to get back into it.
Oh, I'm stoked. Especially with today's special guest, Travis, or DPK, Dirty Prescott Kids. What's going on, man?
Hey, I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm glad we could finally get this going.
Hell yeah, man. Hey, it's taken a lot of, should I say, harassment on my part?
Yeah. I like it, though. It was cool.
Squeak wheel gets the grease, right?
Yeah.
Hey, man. Every single time he's posted something over the last couple months on Threads, on Instagram, I'm right there being like, you know what? It'd be really cool with this.
Yeah.
On a podcast. He posted a picture with Afro Man, legendary. And I'm like, what would be legendary is it came on my podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said something for everything. Like I could say, I'm super hungover, and you're like, come be hungover on the podcast. Just everything.
Yeah, man.
I love it.
Yeah, man. And then, I caught you on live today, right?
Yeah.
And I just kept dropping comments. And I'm like, he obviously can't see them, or like he's not trying to ignore it. And then I'm like, let me reword this. So I reworded it a little different. And then you're like, yeah, we should do that.
I was seeing them. Sometimes when I get on a tangent and I start talking about something, sometimes I just miss them.
Hell yeah.
Whatever. I wasn't ignoring you.
No, hey, it's cool, man. I get it. I had to be the buzz in your ear a little bit. It's cool.
Yeah. I always planned on coming on this podcast since you started hitting me with all those. So
you always planned since episode 1, right? Like that was your plan. And once you heard, hey, there's a podcast out there called On the Throne, I plan on being on it.
Yes, I mean, somehow, some way, I knew I was going to end up on here, whether I knew it existed or not. I just knew it was going to happen.
That right there, that's a good heart and soul kind of guy. I love that shit.
Yeah, you bet, bud.
And speaking of heart and soul guy, Justin, I think would sniff your underwear.
No.
Well, I don't know about that far. I'd probably do some sketchy shit for a Klondike bar, but I don't know if we go that far.
So this probably isn't like, I don't know, how many other podcasts have you been on?
I don't know. I've done under 10, but maybe 8. I don't know.
Oh man,
really?
But they're all different. Like each one has its own charm.
Nice. Well, I don't do my homework. I don't know anything about any of the time.
There
I
you
just
go.
kind of wing it. Come on, have a conversation and see where it goes.
Yeah.
And I think it's worked out well for me. Like I'm very ADHD, so like the podcast is also very ADHD. It's been great.
Yeah. I'm the same way. So hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So he might know this already, like Justin, and other people listening might, but like I don't, and like maybe other listeners I have don't. Like, how did the Dirty Prescott Kids come to be? And I kind of know the answer a little bit, but like.
Well, the answer kind of changes with the times, but the Dirty Prescott Kids it's where I'm from, Prescott, Wisconsin. And when I first made the name, I don't think I ever planned on it like sticking as that, but I needed something to name the first song I put on the internet. And I kind of just didn't want people to know it was just me doing it. It was kind of like maybe a little bit of a cop out, so that people are just like, I don't know who's making this song. And the longer that I did it, the more I kind of like grew to appreciate the name because it included like everybody I was talking about in my original songs and shit. And then it became, once the TikTok thing happened, I mean, it was like, hey,
That
no,
happened
I don't.
fast, or did we just see it happen fast for you after your first viral video?
Well, okay, like for me, it feels like it took a really long time because I started putting out music in 2012. But from the time that I got on TikTok to the time shit started popping off was like a 4 video span. So like it really did. What took me from 2012 to 2021, tenfold happened after I got on TikTok. Like that shit was crazy. So
Yeah,
shout out to CPS Dave is the one that told me to get on TikTok. So yeah, that's the guy, right?
this is the hat you were wearing, man. I saw you with that. I mean, obviously, just like 90% of your followers, I found you after that first viral video you had, and I saw that hat, and I was like, I gotta have one. Like, I have to have one. I think I've got 3 now.
Yeah.
Just,
You got
like
it.
this one.
Yeah. Same.
And I couldn't find them. I was looking online everywhere. Like, there's knockoffs all over the place. It's so many. And my buddy found one. He's like, oh, I found the hat. I found the hat. And it showed up. And it's like an Amazon from China one that's like foam. And it was crappy. And I actually had to ask you in a live one time.
Yeah.
Where's the hats from? And then you started an addiction. Like,
hell yeah.
all of them, like, all my Dave ones.
Yeah.
Man, wow. That is,
that's
pretty
they're good.
Yeah, he makes some good stuff.
Man,
Yeah,
do you make that? Do you make that? Oh no, he makes that. Does he make it himself?
Yeah. Well, he teamed up with a company called Team Fun out of California that helps him do his merch. But he like way before I got my social media popping, everyone in my local area knew CPS Dave. He had the company and he had these like vulgar hats and merch. So like when we went out to like Country Fest and shit, I mean, there'd be like a flock of people around this fucking guy. And you just get your hands on one of these hats. I mean, you just have people stopping you left and right to take pictures just because of the hat. So he was kind of this local legend for us. And Country Fest is ultimately how I met him. And I was just like, I told him one time, I think it was in 2018. I was like, I know you already got your shit going on, but I also make super dirty shit. Rep in Wisconsin. We're not that far away from each other. And if there's any way we could like collaborate, I think we could help each other. But I get it if you think you got your own shit going on. And he was like, oh, hell yeah, dude, let's do it. I thought he was going to like turn me down. And he was like, hell yeah. And I gave him a CD as kind of like a business card. And yeah, I don't know, we became friends after that. And I just told him I will religiously rep your shit, whether 8 people see it or a bunch of people see it. And then one day I was able to kind of really rep the shit.
It's interesting how like you give a CD as your business card. I give hard hat stickers. It's
a great one too.
Yeah, man, for sure.
The CD wasn't supposed to be my calling card, but I had it on me and I just came out with it at that time. And I was just like, well, I don't really know what else to give you. So I got this. And we actually got a picture taken. Someone took a picture of us and I don't know who gave it to me, but he's holding up the CD and I'm holding up a marijuana piss test. I don't know who handed it to me, but that's the first day we met.
Was it a pass or a fail?
I didn't take it. I don't know who gave it to me, as I would have failed it at Country Fest for sure. So I just gave it to someone else.
Oh shit. I like what you said about the collaboration thing, right? Because, what you were saying in your live earlier about how, you've reached out to so many people and, with your 23 and stuff like that, you don't hear back sometimes or a few times, right? And that's like a lot like podcasting, like I reach out to so many people and there's a lot of times I don't get an answer back. Sometimes it's a no. Sometimes they answer back and it's good that they answer back and they just say no. And that's cool.
Yeah.
Too, like it's not for everyone, right? It's like you send out 20 asks and you get 2 back and one of them's no. You just got to keep firing them out there. And I haven't missed Tuesday yet in 40 weeks. So we're
nice.
We're ripping along.
What number is this one?
This will be 41.
Sweet.
Nice.
Hell yeah, man. I'm pumped.
Yeah, I love podcasts. I listen to more podcasts these days than I listen to music. They're awesome.
Hell yeah. He listens to a podcast every day at work.
Well, no, just recently, because I kind of slacked off. Like, we worked for so long for me to get on yours the first time.
Yeah.
And then I switched jobs and did a whole bunch. Like, my life just went crazy in summertime. When I do have time, I wanted to enjoy the summertime. So I kind of slacked off a little bit, and he hit me up. He's like, well, what number are you on the podcast? And I hadn't really gone up any numbers. So, but I mean, you get sick of your playlist too when you're sitting in a machine for 12 hours a day. So I was like, all right, well, I'll download them. And so for like 3 days straight now, all I've been listening to is Dick's podcast. But I'm caught up now.
There you go.
A new one comes out tomorrow. New one comes out tomorrow, but it's a good one. It's another podcast where we did a cross episode. And you'll find that he says on there, and like I was trying to get to with the collaboration thing, tomorrow's podcast guy, he said something really interesting is that all the winners, all the people at the top are collaborating, while all the losers are competing.
Well, I mean,
right?
Not everybody that watches Travis's stuff watches your stuff, and not everybody that watches your stuff knows who Travis is, and vice versa, right? So if you can get like the mix of both of your genres and your niche and your followers and your watchers together, then it's good for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people want to like safeguard they're like, don't collaborate. I'm the one with the platform or whoever, you know. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that's the way to be.
No, hell no, man. I don't think this app started out that way, where it was like, let's see how individually creative we can all be, right? And we did pretty good with it. But where we took it to that next level is when, you know, a really prominent TikToker in fucking Australia and someone big in Canada and then a big time TikToker in the US all found each other and we're like, why don't we get together on this, you know? And that's when I think TikTok really poof. You know, I've met people from all over the world on this app, right? And like not in person yet, but it will happen one day.
Yeah. Like I love the Southern Dad, like that guy. I don't know why I'm spacing his name right now. My bad. I love that guy. He plays the Southern Dad, and next thing you know, you see him popping in with like Jelly Roll and Cole Wetzel and all the shit. And that's when you started seeing, for me, I started seeing like creators all of a sudden with like big ass musicians and shit. And like, I'm like, the collaboration is actually endless. What could happen? And absolutely. I remember when we had that video pop off that everyone refers to with the show me that butthole hat. When we got Leanne Rhymes to comment on that, it was like, and I didn't get to meet her or nothing, but when she commented, I was like, holy shit.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, like, that is.
I just didn't see that coming. Now, I got to meet all kinds of cool people since that was in 2021, but I will never forget that moment. It was epic.
Like, and it's crazy how it popped off like that. Like, it's just kind of a random video, kind of a random old sound. Like, that was.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was a big song back in the day, but that was a long time ago when that one was popular. So, what did you think about that one? Like, what made that come together?
So, I really do. Very rarely really get to tell like the context of that. So, we're big country music fans. All my friends and me and Caroline, we loved that song. We belt it all the time. It was Memorial Day weekend. We had already gone on like a 3-day bender, and we were out on a buddy's pontoon on actual Memorial Day, and nobody seemed to have any gas left in the tank, but we were just giving it, trying to bounce back. And somewhere around the time when we were coming back, I finally stopped feeling like shit. Like I was trying to bounce back and I couldn't, taking shots, doing whatever. And we were coming back, and Caroline played that song, and I just started to feel it. So she's on the front of the pontoon, and I was coming up. I was not making a TikTok. I was on Snapchat, and I just knew that Caroline is like, she's on cue like this. I come walking up, she is just ready to rage. and we had never had a TikTok take off. I walked up to her and we just started belting it out. I had this braid in my hair she gave me. I was just looking goofy as shit. I didn't even realize I had that hat on. We belted it out, and that's where it died, like right then and there. So we get off the boat. We go up to a buddy's house. He's having a barbecue. And I just thought I did have my TikTok. I think I was already at like a little under 100,000 followers. I had plenty of videos take off before that. But I was like, shit, my phone's going to die. I should post something. So I cannot stress enough. It was a saved Snapchat. It was supposed to be an absolute drop in the bucket burner. Like just us singing this song. So I saved it off my Snapchat, synced it up with the song, got like 8% battery, posted it, put it on the charger, and went out on the deck and started partying with my friends. And I remember I captioned it, "When the hangover lifts," because that was the moment when my headache went away that day. I was feeling like, yeah, it really was. And we were down at the bar after that because obviously now the hangover has lifted. We ate the barbecue. We went downtown. And this is like 2 hours later, and I go to look at my phone, and it's going up. This is that certain era of a TikTok. It's not like this anymore, but it was going up. Like you could swipe and watch it go up 4,000 views, and then it's 20,000 views, and it was just going. I was like showing her. I'm like, what in the fuck is this? And she didn't know what to think. She's like, that video of all things, and it just kept going and going and going into like a couple days afterwards. And CPS Dave called me. We already had a code in place so I could get a little credit for repping his hats. He called me and he's like, these freaking hats are flying out the fucking shelf. Like there was so much that happened from that, but it was a complete burner of a video. I never thought anything of it when I posted it because
my biggest one was one like that too. So
just a burner.
Yeah. So I made one. Yeah. There was one of my buddies. I used to live in Alberta, and I fly to Winnipeg for a boys' fishing trip every winter, right? Yeah. And I was telling my friends in Winnipeg how a buddy of mine in Alberta said that you can buy those little airplane bottles of liquor and just like take them on the airplane. They're like, why do you think they're called airplane bottles? I'm like, there's no fucking way they let you take it on there. So he told me, he's like, last time I went, I just took a handful of those things. You put it in like the liquids bag that they give you at the airport. Just fire it through the X-ray machine. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna do it. My buddies in Winnipeg, they're like, you will not do that. I'm like, you bet your ass I'm gonna, and I'm gonna make a video just to prove to you guys I did. Yeah. So I think I had like 6 or 8 of these bottles or whatever, right? And I had just a backpack because I'm traveling just for the weekend, and put my backpack in, like set those things right on top. Like I didn't want them to fly under the radar. I wanted them to see those things, right? Just to see what happened. So I put it through the machine and get the green light on the other side, and they just slide the bin. I grab my little bottles in my backpack, and away I go. So then I carried the video on where I went and bought mix after I'm and then go and mix a couple into the bathroom, and then just walk around drinking rum and ginger ale in the airport and on the airplane and stuff, right? Yeah. I'm sitting on the airplane, like editing the video. And like the stewardesses are walking by, and I'm like, I probably shouldn't let them see that I'm making this video as I got this drink sitting on the little table. Right. Jeez. So I'm like trying to tuck it away and whatever. And I posted it right before we took off. And I think it was like a 2-hour flight or something. I landed, had 160,000 views. I was like, what in the hell? Like I didn't even. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And then it's almost at 1 million. Yeah, that was a while ago. That was in the wintertime, but I also do that with mini bottles. Do you? Oh yeah. Yeah, I will never not do it ever again. I try not to get caught, but I definitely do it. Oh,
you can do it.
Yeah, I don't think you would get caught.
Well, I from what I've heard, because I got for a weird amount of flight attendant friends. They tell me as long as they don't see it, they don't care. But they do try to tell you on at least down here, they'll say on the intercom, like, it is prohibited to drink your own alcohol while on this plane, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, you sit there and pull it out your backpack and open it up and dump it in whatever drink they just gave you, get a Coca-Cola or something. Who's going to catch you?
I almost got in shit one time. It was the one and only time I've ever gotten duty free as I'm walking onto the plane. We were on our way to Mexico.
Yeah.
And they give us our duty free, and usually they give it to you when you're walking off. It was the first time I'd have it in my experience. They gave it to you on getting onto the plane. So one of the guys that I was flying with, he's like, "Oh yeah, I had this happen once before. We just drank it on the plane." I'm like, "All right." So we started drinking it, and it was a 40-pounder from the airport, from the duty free. And right at the very end, like I'm sure the stewardess could tell that we were a little worse for wear, and we didn't buy a whole lot from her. She questioned me on what was in the bottle. I'm like, "Oh,
right.
ginger ale." She said, "Okay, well, just so you know, if it's anything else other than ginger ale, it's like a felony."
Yeah.
So we don't do that one anymore.
It's worth the risk.
Well, mini bottles are way better idea.
Yeah, it's more concealable.
Yeah,
and I don't really drink. I'm the party pooper. But like I do have a bottle of Crown Peach right here in my camp room though. So like, I had a drink a couple weeks ago, and usually a bottle like that would take about a year for me to get it down to near the bottom. Well, it's been 2 months. So like, I'm stepping it up a little bit, guys.
There you go.
Hey.
I'm turning my inner alcoholic on, and I'm getting down. I've been imprinted by Justin, I think, too much.
Yeah.
Well, you got to try some of these then instead of those flavored liquors.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with those either, but
Nah, I can't do that. I tried Bud Light once. I'm good.
You're koozie there, Travis.
I got a Busch Latte because it's what was in the fridge.
Yeah.
Got a little Fireball Pounder over here.
Nice.
Little Sunday fun day.
I think
Party, bud.
Yeah, I mean, I don't drink all the time. I think I do give the illusion that I do because of my videos, but usually when I go getting on a podcast or something, it just keeps you loose.
Absolutely.
Hey man, you could do and say whatever you want. It's this is a pretty loose environment, right? Like,
yeah.
Keep it that way on purpose. So, hey, you're also blue collar, aren't you though? Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, like what were you oil field? Did I see that right?
No, I do get a lot. There's a little bit of a misconception there because the company that I work for the last, I don't know, since 2018, they do a lot of maintenance on oil field jobs. So I'm a union iron worker. We'll go down to some places in West Texas and we'll hang all the steel for their next conveyor building or a wet plant or a sand plant, shit like that. But so I'm not in the oil field. All my cousins are, but I'm an iron worker.
All right. That's not bad. So you're right up there with, do you know who Larry Ruffton is? Rough Iron?
Absolutely. Yeah.
He was on the podcast a few episodes ago. I love that.
Yeah. I just did a show out in West Virginia and he sent me a message and said, "I can't believe this, but I'm working in Beckley, West Virginia, which was 14 fucking miles from where I was." But he just started there on a Sunday, and that's when we were heading out after a 3-day bender. So we did not get to meet up. I was hoping we would. Yeah.
3-day bender.
Well, I mean, these concerts, man, you go out there, they want, we're the opener, so they want you out there the whole time. So we got out there Friday. I play Saturday night, and then we leave Sunday. So it was a 3-day bender. And it was Afro Man was the headliner.
That's awesome.
Oh, I saw that, man, and I was so pumped. I was that was fun. I get to meet Afro Man, that's legendary, right?
Yeah, very briefly, but it was cool.
Have you noticed that the size of the shows since TikTok have gotten bigger?
Oh yeah, for sure. The shows I was doing before TikTok were all local. I had never done anything. I had my music was out there and I was gaining traction, but I never even attempted to do a show outside of Wisconsin and Minnesota. And then after TikTok, there became like a little bit of a demand for it. And then we started that same summer that one-way ticket video came out. I already started doing shows. I think we did in like 6 months. I did like 9 states, which is, you know, for a big artist, that's nothing. For me, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's insane.
You ever
It
get
was
to come to
wild.
Canada?
Yeah, actually, I get like a lot of love from Canada, and I've been saying like I'm trying to figure it out. I don't exactly know how we're gonna do it, but I'm trying to do it.
Well, the
It's
COVID
gonna happen.
restrictions are gone, but
That's good,
Go north. The north is calling.
dude.
We the north.
Yeah, we the North. I got a song coming out with a buddy of mine, Jake Lacoste, on the 29th called Up North Boys, and it was the first time we like didn't directly say it was about Wisconsin. We wanted it to be all inclusive. So basically, it's about all of us. Up North boy.
Yeah. That's getting me pumped. That's so hard right now.
Speaking of another fellow Canadian, you know who Uncle Hack is?
Uncle Hack was episode 7 or 8 of my podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. So as a fellow Canadian, big fan of that guy. He was one of the first people I kind of like. I just talked to. Like a lot of people were tagging us in each other's videos, saying we look like each other and shit. So we started talking to each other in 2021. He just sent me a message and said, "Hey, I'm gonna be like 40 minutes away from your hometown doing a show in Minneapolis, October 3rd. If you and Caroline will come out, I'll have some tickets for you at the door." So I think we're gonna go see him next week.
Awesome.
Hell yeah, man. So I've talked about this a lot. I don't think my whole TikTok journey and my niche, what I do on TikTok, I don't think I would be doing what I do without Uncle Hack. Uncle Hack is the pioneer for what I do.
Yeah. Oh, he's so funny.
Straight up. I work in the oil field, make oil field content. It started with him, right?
Yeah.
It started with him, like, hands down. And I tell him that all the time. He's been in my lives. Every time he comes in my live, I bet you that's probably why he doesn't come in my live anymore. I'm like, oh shit, the pioneer.
Yeah.
Like, he stopped texting me too. Oh.
Well, Danger Cat.
Yeah, yes, but
I love him.
Danger Cats, heavy metal, heavy women, heavy drinking.
Yeah, he's a funny dude. He popped in on one of my lives. We did a joint live just to like the first time we actually like talked face to face, and yeah, I've tried to keep in contact with him. I didn't know I was going to actually get to go see him, so that's going to be cool.
That is.
I plan on going.
What a small world, eh? Like, you know, TikTok has brought all these people together, dude. Like something Instagram could never have done. Something Facebook never done, right? TikTok, man. And they're trying
to.
It
is a little bit of a. It's more personal, I think, because like when you go live, people can see your face. You can, even if you're just in the comments. Like I've been in a bunch of your lives and Dick's all the time, and like even if you're not in the live, like video wise with them, you can still interact with them through the video, and it feels a little bit more personal.
Yep. Yeah, it does. I was so like unbelievable. I remember the first time I went live, I was like, I'm not scared to do any of the other type of content. But when I went live, I was like, I sent Caroline a message. I was down in West Texas working, and I was like, will you come in the live and like ask me questions every once in a while, just in case like I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to say? And so she was in there like kind of probing the conversation and shit. But it's so much easier than I ever thought. Like you just got to just talk and answer questions and take random, when people invite you to talk to them, you click them, and I enjoy it actually.
It's a lot of fun. I used to have a lot more time to do lives, and I did them quite often. All I would do, I would just get on after work because I stayed in hotels for weeks at a time, right? So I'm just alone in my room, and I'd just sit in the hotel room and just get pissed drinking beer after work. And then I did it almost every night because I had nothing else to do. And then just like the first time you had 7 or 8 people in your life. Then the next day you get like 12 or 20. Then the next day you get like 100.
Yeah.
It's like people see you and I mean, I wasn't doing anything fancy. I wasn't like getting stupid drunk, but you know, I don't really have a filter, and I'd interact with people and call people out and make fun of people too.
Yeah.
People liked it.
Yeah, some get a little wilder than others for me. I've only had a couple get, shut down on the spot. For the most part, they've been pretty good.
I was in a pretty wild one of yours. Sorry to interrupt you, Dick.
No worries, man. Go ahead.
But you were what's the bar in Prescott you guys go to?
Well, there's a lot of them in that tiny town, but
Oh, there's like an old dive bar. You were live from there.
yeah, I think there's the boat drinks and then the No Name or the Monkey Bar, Scabs.
Scabs. You were at Scabs.
Yeah, thank you for picking Scabs. They say.
Yeah, and you were live. I don't know if I was the first one to do it, but you mentioned which bar you were at, and people started calling in phone shots. And
Dude,
I find it like you after a few minutes, like you had to tell people like no more shots. Nobody
yeah,
else can get through on the phone because Scabs was getting bombarded.
dude,
With,
they still bring that shit up to me all the time, and at first they were acting pissed, which I don't know why they would, and then they were like, now they're like, hey, we should do it again sometime.
Yep.
We were like, caller number 22 gets a golden ticket to my mom's Christmas in July. That was a good day.
that was
CPS
awesome.
Dave was with me on that one.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, that was some good times. We recently moved just outside of Prescott, so it's very weird for me because I never very briefly in my life did I not live there, and now when I go there, I start drinking, and then I'm like, fuck, like I got to get a ride home or something, or I'm gonna end up sleeping on someone's couch. Like it's so weird to not be able to just like walk up to my trailer and crash.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but it's like I lived like 30 of the 33 years of my life there.
Hey and man, I was actually gonna say congratulations on the move. By the way, the house is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you, man.
We posted it on Instagram, I believe it was.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
It's a much of a fixer upper. It's going to take us many years to do, but we are so excited to be here. Like it's awesome.
It's beautiful, man. It's still beautiful, right? It's
ours, and it's so beautiful. And my fiance Caroline, she is a real estate agent, so like she facilitated the whole thing. It was just a fateful scenario how it ended up in our hands, but yeah, she killed the deal. I was blessed because like most people have to go through this big pain in the ass process, and they might not even like their real estate agent, but mine was just flawless.
I see Caroline come in sometimes with like a clipboard, and
yeah,
like, I've got almost like 70, so almost 100K on TikTok followers. You've got like what 800,000 just about.
Oh, that's an overstatement. I'm under 700, but appreciate you.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Creeping up there.
Hey,
by the time this comes out 2 weeks from now, it could be almost 1 million. Who knows?
Yeah, I think I see once people find out I was on this podcast, it should launch me somewhere around 1 million.
There you go, bro. It happened here on the throne. You're welcome.
Yeah. Yes,
everyone
sir.
needs a little dick in their life,
Yeah. Ain't that true?
So where I was going with that is I see her with a clipboard. As a guy who has 100,000, I'm fucking busy all the time. I can only imagine how swamped you are and how you don't remember things. You can't. People try to tell you stuff, and it's like someone else has to write this shit down.
Yeah. Well, she started getting me into that. I lived my whole entire life. I got a great memory. I lived my whole entire life just like remembering everything in my mind. And then this TikTok thing happened, and I just started failing miserably on just keeping track of what was happening. And she gave me this giant calendar. Like it's got all the months in one row. Like the whole month is in one row. And I'm like, now I can write shit down and see it. Without that, I don't know what I would do. She helps me keep my schedule.
Yep. My wife's right there doing the same shit for me. And it started with the merch line, man. The merch line. When we dropped the merch line, I didn't have a website yet. So I was getting people to send me orders through inbox. And boy, was that messy. Right? I had to get to the point where like I had to create a separate email and be like, hey, my wife is taking control of this. Send your shit there. Because I don't want nothing to do with it. It's never going to get to you. And then like within a couple weeks, I actually had someone fall into my lap that created websites. And now she's like, she might as well be family. She's amazing. Corso Chris, shout out to her. She's got a candy store just outside of Edmonton now. And she created my website. And dude, none of us have to remember that shit anymore. We just check the email. Oh, someone ordered something. Here you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I bet you there's still orders from that first couple weeks
Yeah.
that haven't gone out yet. It's been 2 years. I bet you there's still orders lost.
You should go back and check and then hit someone up and be like, "Hey, bro, I got you, man. It's on the way." They're like, "No shit." 2 years later.
Well, I know for sure someone's hat just went out that ordered it almost a year and a half ago. So.
Oh, dang. My brother, actually, my scenario, there's so many things that lined up really good for me on this whole thing. But I was at my brother's house. He produces a hunting TV show, national hunting TV show. So he is way more on the computer, websites, content, cameras, all that shit, way more than me. I was just the music guy. And one day we're out at his house. I was staying at his house because there was a job close by. And he's like, "Hey, we should make you a website so you could sell T-shirts because people always ask you and you don't have them." So we sat down and made this website. I didn't have a TikTok or any way to promote it. It was just like going to put it on my Facebook. And so, hey, if anyone wants a shirt, this is where they're at. And we figured if I sell like 18 shirts, it would pay for the year of the website or whatever. So when the TikTok thing took off, I already had all that shit in place. I had a website. I had a logo hand drawn. That logo, everyone.
That logo's awesome.
So thank you. Now with AI, I think people just naturally assume it's one of those. But there's a local artist. I pretty much did everything that I have with my music was like, at first at least, was all from people from Prescott. And I was trying to highlight all the artists and people from my hometown. And one kid, like 3 years younger than me, Lewis Kaufman, and he's like a video game designer, kind of does like these really cool things. I'd never seen graphic design. And I was like, "Hey, bro, I know this is probably not a priority of yours, but if you would take a little side job, I really want a logo drawn." And he was like, "What's the logo?" So I sent him a picture of myself. One day I want to make a TikTok about this. I got these pit vipers on way before I heard a heat wave, and my hair was barely peeking out below my fucking ears, like right here. And I was like, "So hear me out." And this is way before the mullet thing took off too. I mean, I know it's always been popular, but the resurgence of it.
Yeah.
So 2019, that's where we're at. I sent him a picture, and it was like me doing this. And I was like, "Picture me with this massive, majestic mullet. That's where I want to be by the time this logo comes out. I'm growing it now. Clearly, I'm not there. That's what I want as the logo." And I sent him some 80s font. He drew like this. At first, it was like this way too big. Like I would never have achieved it. And we toned it down a little bit, and we got that. He hand drew the whole thing. And by the time I released the logo, my hair was kind of catching up. And then by the time that the TikTok, I made that my first picture. I've never changed it. It was the first picture I put on my profile picture. And by the time that shit kicked off, I was the exact person that the picture was.
It was right there.
Yeah, I mean, damn close. Like I wouldn't say it was perfect, but like I was so close to it. And I was like, he drew that. I might as well have had a buzz cut. Like it was like, this is where I'm going to be in 2 years. And it took him, because it wasn't a priority of his, it took him like 9 months to get me the damn picture back. But I don't know, man. It just felt like things just lined up. And then a crazy thing about that picture is that shortly after that, this like mullet community, like that's the first podcast I ever did. It doesn't exist anymore, but it was called The Burn Barrel. And they said, "Would you be on this? It's about mullets and mental health." And I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And so I got on it from like a hotel in Texas. And that's how I ended up in the mullet competition, the USA mullet competition, which ultimately also helped me out way more than I ever imagined. Like that community, like rallied behind it. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it other than that, but like it was a perfect storm of scenarios. and I had the merch lined up. I had the logo. I had a whole album out already. By the time that people caught on to my songs and shit, I had, I don't know, 18, 20 songs out. So it was like, it wasn't like one thing popped off and I was like, oh, now I'm going to go try to be an artist. I already was doing it, just nobody gave a fuck before. And then one day it did.
Fuck yeah.
That's kind of how it lined up for me, at least.
Everything just went. So you already had the merch and
yeah,
the mullet, then the website, then the TikTok, and then the music too.
Like the mullet was like it was shorter when my TikTok started going, but it was good. It was good and flowacious, and then the mullet trend kind of took off, so that favored me as well.
Yeah.
Where's your mullet, Billy?
Where's your mullet, Billy?
Yeah, Billy.
It's gone now. It used to be there. It wasn't nearly as luscious as yours is, but it was there for a while.
One? I can't grow anything.
You could.
Actually, the hair's coming back.
The skull
coming back. I haven't been able to grow hair right here in years. And I changed up my diet this summer, man. And I'm telling you, I'm growing hair where I've never had hair before.
I believe it. Diet is important.
Dick Frost is Dick. Well, Dick Frost now he has a middle name and it's Harry.
Dick Harry Frost.
Dick Harry Frost. Hey, what's your Heat Waves code?
Heat Wave code is DPK.
Yeah, mine's Frost 8910, buddy. Frost
8910. Yeah, that was another. That's one thing that that was when I really started to realize the power of TikTok. I saw Heat Waves like pretty early on. I was like, I already didn't like kind of the direction that Pit Viper was going. There was a weird people that were starting to rally behind that company. And I've always been the type of person where something gets really popular, I kind of go the other way. So I was like, fuck that. I'm going to wear these instead. I started wearing those and all my videos, I had them on every video. And I kept trying to tell the company and they didn't give a shit at the time. And so I took a message that they sent me and I posted it on my TikTok that said, basically, we don't have any room on the roster. Sorry.
Yeah.
And my fucking followers were like, DPK is the motherfucking roster. And they started messaging them when it says like the little bonus comment when you're ordering them. They started filling the comments in with like Dirty Prescott Kids or nothing. And they're sending me these screenshots. And I was like, yeah, boys and girls, yeah. And then pretty soon the company reached out and they were like, hey, buddy, sorry about that. Here's a discount code and we're sending you a box of a couple pairs. Nothing crazy, but that was like my first relationship. And now they treat me very good. I love them. I still buy them on a regular basis. Like for every 2 they send me, I buy 3 pairs.
Yep. Yeah, that's good.
I constantly represent that company, and I'm still not on the roster. I never was. But if it wasn't for my people sending all those messages, they never would have even answered me.
They should do a DPK edition. You know how they had the Chevy Heartland of America edition ones?
Yeah.
They should do a DPK edition one, man.
They should do like the blue and pink lines, like your logo colors.
I would love it.
Yes.
I would love it.
I sent an email to them last year, and I'm like, we should link up and do a Dick Frost pair, you know?
Yeah.
And they're like, bro, we would love that, but we can't right now. Man, all I gotta do is get my followers to like.
No, they wouldn't even answer me. My producer sent them a bunch of messages when they said, it was probably the social media marketing guys, not the company said that, but somebody messaged him back and said, sorry, there's no room on the roster. And so I just took that and ran with it and sent it to the peeps. But the funny thing is a guy even sent me a video. They got a DBK version, Dirt Bike Kids. And a guy got a pair and scratched out a brand new pair, scratched out part of the B or whatever, and made it say DPK. And I was like, that's as close as we're ever going to get to my own custom pair, buddy.
Hell yeah, man.
I love the company and I represent them religiously. They could probably say, yo, we don't like you. And I'd still do it because they make amazing stuff.
They're fucking durable, man. And they're durable.
Man, they are.
They're comfortable and they're durable, man. Like, so these are my third pair of the blue ones. Obviously, I got to get the blue if they're frosty, right?
Yeah.
And so I had them in my pocket, and I work on the road crew in the summertime, and they fell out of my pocket and got run over. All that happened was it cracked right here, and like it was still hanging on. And I
Oh,
could still,
yeah?
if I put like not blue, but if I put like clear tape there, you could probably still see like a scratch or something, man. But I emailed my, I don't know, what would you call him, a handler? I emailed my handler a picture.
Yeah, my
of them.
handler.
Like, man, yeah, I emailed a picture of them to my handler. I'm like, man, I'm super impressed with these. These just got run over. And
Yeah.
like, all that's wrong is one of the lenses is fucked. And it's not even that bad. He's like, new pair on the way. Like,
on the way.
Oh, dude, I didn't even care about that, man. I just
You can just get a new lenses for them too, no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can. What I like about them,
they're interchangeable.
Yeah, what I like about them now is that the logo on the side now is that all of them are like gold.
Oh yeah.
I love that. The new,
I got
new
ones sticking around. Just these are the ones that are.
Oh, I love those ones. I lost those at a wedding. I got to get those again. Yeah.
What's your favorite? What's your guys' favorite edition of the Heat Waves? I guess
Laserface for sure.
Laserface. Okay.
My Laserface, and then I also wear like the Interceptor 2.0 when I need to be like kind of suave, you know.
I have well, the Future Techs are probably my favorite, but I've got a pair around here that are the Vices, and they're the gold lenses. Holy shit!
Yeah.
They're fucking fire.
Yeah, dude.
Like, I love them, and I got the side shields with them so I can wear them at work, and
oh,
dude, they're just amazing.
I remember I was at work one time, and my boss, I was like waiting for him to come up and try to talk shit because they're like, "Hey, you can't be wearing like your own glasses here." And I knew that they were rated and completely legit. I had the side shields and everything, and I was like, "Oh yeah," and I whipped them bitches off and showed him, and he was like, "How do I get these?"
Yeah.
My boss at the time was just pissed about like you can't wear those. You got to wear safety glasses. I'm like, they are.
Yep.
They're just badass.
We had a couple safety officers going around telling people they can't wear the pit vipers on site. Yeah. They can't wear the pit vipers or anything that look like pit vipers, and he just keeps walking by me. Right? He's had this argument before. He knows he's not going to win it. He saw my shit and he just kept going. I'm like, you know, bud. You know. You ain't gonna win this one.
That type of shit, I don't know why that just irks me now because, you know, I've been Heat Wave gang for a while, and people are like, "Oh, I love your pit vipers," and I'm like, "These ain't pit vipers, y'all.
These ain't pit vipers, boy."
I don't get the hype behind the pit vipers, man. Like, they're uncomfy.
They are.
They're cheap.
Yeah.
Like, they're like expensive and cheap.
Yeah. Like, those are like $130, $140, man.
Yeah.
And they
what a flex.
They suck compared to Heat Wave.
Yeah. They're like the way they like curl around, like I don't know, it's uncomfortable across the board, and like that little adjustment piece they have.
Yes.
Yeah. I only had one pair, and I inherited a pair when I got second place in the mullet competition, and they're still in the box. I mean, I haven't even taken them out to look at them.
No. Why would you?
Well, you know, I'll give them to a kid or something someday, or keep them in the box. And
show you these ones 1 sec.
I like throwing. Every once in a while, I'll throw a pair to a fan or a kid at a concert. Like, what a good thing to catch from the crowd. Everyone's throwing koozies. I'll throw a pair of sunglasses out every once in a while. Can't do it all the time.
Well, no.
They ain't got that kind of money.
Unless they start sending you some gear.
I would love to develop a relationship with them like that, but I feel like they got kind of like their little market down, and I guess if I like raced dirt bikes, or I was like somebody that could jump a car over my house or something, I think they'd get on it. But rapper, wild, sometimes politically outspoken, I feel like they kind of like probably not.
Maybe. You know what? You might be onto something there. Just you got a mouth that they probably just don't want to be affiliated with.
I get it. As long as
maybe from a big corporation like that. Maybe.
And I'm realistic enough to understand that. That's why I still represent them. And I'm like, if y'all could even just love me from afar, I
Yeah.
will religiously rep you. And nobody could deny. I mean, if you look at my TikTok, top to bottom, I don't even know what that would equate to marketing wise. But after all the years now of doing this, I know that's worth something. I mean, I don't know what you could put a price tag
Well, I
on
got my
looking at.
first pair because of you, because I saw them on you, and everyone else was wearing pit vipers, and I'm like, those are awesome. And I figured
Yeah,
out, and I
they
bought mine
are.
because you are.
Well, there you go. I appreciate that. But now we're all wearing them.
That's right.
Hell yeah. It happened for me pretty cool too, in a pretty cool way too. I was working on a rig and the rig hands were, they were like, "Hey bud, you should try wearing these glasses and tagging Heatwave in a couple videos, see if they'll rep you or if they'll let you rep them." I'm like, "Hell yeah." Hell yeah. So that was my first foray into that kind of thing. So I put them on and I'm wearing them around site. I made a couple videos and I tagged Heatwave in them. And, a couple weeks later, I look back and I missed a couple messages from them. They're like, "Hey, man, like, would you like to be like what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I was going to say an
Affiliate.
apprentice, an affiliate.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew it started with an A.
Yeah, it
So,
could be apprentice too.
yeah, it could be an apprentice. So I'm like, hell yeah, why not? The boys on the rig just wanted them because they wanted a code, right? They're like,
Sure.
"Yeah, we got it in." Yeah.
Yeah.
So they
Yes.
order them by the boatload every fucking time.
That's awesome.
Every chance they get, it's great. I was just gonna show you my other ones that I just got there. I've always gotten the dark shaded ones, right? The blue ones. I got a set of purples and the gold ones, and they're never good for night shift, right? So I finally broke down and I got a pair of clear yellows, right?
Oh yeah.
So now I can rep the heat waves at night too.
Yeah, I always wanted to get a pair of clears, and I never did. Like, because at work and shit, like whether you're welding and grinding and whatever, like the darks, you're taking them off or trying to look out the top, and like you said, nights you ain't seeing shit out of them at night, the regular ones.
Yeah.
But I never got a pair. But so you like them?
Yeah. Oh, I love them. They're fucking tight.
Yeah, the heat wave's tight. I mean, cheers to heat wave, honestly.
Cheers to heat waves. Boys.
Love them.
I just got water.
That's fate. You can drink whatever.
I gotta go grab a new one of these, by the way. I'll be right back in 1 second.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh yeah. So what would be your favorite? What's one of your favorite songs? Every artist has to have a song that they're like most proud of, right? Like the one that they've like put so much work and effort into, and that when that hard work comes back in spades, you know what I mean? It paid off. Like what's that for you?
I guess I love them all for different reasons and everything. I think my favorite song I made is called Own Team. Just my feelings behind it when I made it, the vibe of the song. I also would put my song Keys up there because it was about me trying to get out of work to go meet up with my girl and a couple friends down in the Florida Keys, and they were trying to make it seem like I couldn't get out of work to go there and shit. So I made this song, "Fuck work, I'm gonna go down to the Keys," and like I showed my boss, like saying like, I'm gonna get the people to rally behind this. I say so. Own Team, I would say is my favorite. But Rage In, I have to love that song for what it did for me, because a lot of, I don't know, the way that you guys brought up the one-way ticket thing, Rage In, a song of mine, blew up a month and a half before I even made the one-way ticket video. That was popping out for me because I made an audio talking about the one friend that you go out to eat with and you're coming out of that wasted, and people just started tagging their best party partner, and that song took off like a bat out of hell, and it did everything for me. Like, it literally launched my songs into playlists I never imagined being on, getting to do concerts. One Way Ticket as a TikTok did not sell my songs. If anything, it confused people because they were like, well, we just want to see you in. I got like a couple 100,000 followers. that came in hoping that they were just going to see me and Caroline singing country songs. And I was like, guys, I was already at 100,000. I'm a fucking rapper. Like I love country, but like you're going to get a little bit of all that. So it was like, if anything, it confused people and changed my fan base a little bit. But Rage In.
You were right in there in the mix with the white country boy rap that came out, because that is the hype now. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of us knew exactly what. I always thought I was just making rap, but when that genre started to pop off, and I found myself right in the mix of there.
Yeah.
I mean, I embraced the shit out of it because I know the topics I was talking about. I was just trying to rap about things that were relevant to me and like around me and my life, and it resonated in that genre of country rap. And I didn't know that was about to be like a sub genre, but I fucking love it. Like it's awesome. Some of it gets a little weird now that it's blown up so much. Like people just get into it and just start making it out of nowhere. But all the people that I've met, my peers in the genre, are epic people. And shit, we go out to these mud events, and it's just like it's everything I wanted to do my whole life. Like just redneck shit, getting wild. Like I love it.
Yeah, I'm not really into that whole scene, but I love that music, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like breakup songs, right? I've been with my wife for 17 years, actually 17 years today. So we've
nice.
But so I've been with my wife for 17 years, and breakup songs just, I feel them. I'm like, yeah,
me too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But raging party songs, that's never been my scene, and I'm just like, fuck yeah, we're going.
You still bob your
head. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I remember
I know.
Going back to that Ray Jim popping off, I remember when you were like duetting and stitching everybody who was making videos with your sound on it, and I had done one like a month or two before you started doing that, and then I saw you popping up and you're duetting and stitching everybody, and I remember I harassed your ass too, because I was like, man, I did this before it was cool, and I don't duet. Like, what the hell is going on?
Did I never make it around to do one? Did I never duet you?
No, you did. Yeah, you did.
I thought I did. I was going to say, because I feel as if I've known you now for a while, at least off of TikTok, and I'm like, I know I got around to doing that.
No, you did, yeah.
But that was
we talk about it all the time.
That was a great decision, and I did it out of just like I was so genuinely excited that everyone was doing it, and I just wanted to find the coolest ones and duet it. And it only made people start going harder. I think like other people started going like, maybe I'll get a duet. And it got to the point where there's no freaking way I could have started duetting them all.
You would have been doing it all day.
One guy the one guy I probably owe at least a case of beer to. He had the #1 video on the sound forever. It probably still is, but he like rolled into his office building with this like toilet paper gun and just dusted everybody. Like it was like this giant gun, and it just shot toilet paper as a TP machine and just started dusting everybody. And that video, I don't know, it had like 7 million views or something. And I was like, how lucky am I that you could have put any goddamn song to that?
Yeah.
And you chose mine. It was awesome.
Hell yeah.
But I always appreciate the people more that like clearly, like, I know that there's people that just take songs that are buzzing and they put it to like a video they already have. I always like the people that you can tell either are doing the song, like they know the words, or they went out of their way to make a video that's very relevant to the song's topic. Those are the ones I'm always looking for.
Fuck yeah. Hey, I got a question for you.
Hit me.
Do you know what viscosity is?
Viscosity. It's been a while since I was in a class like that, but I feel like it has something to do. I'm picturing a swirly water in a beaker. Viscosity. I'm definition wise. Is it like? I'm just gonna make something up right now. Is it like something to do with like the density of water, where something could maybe float in it or not?
Yeah,
the thickness of the load.
The thickness of the load.
Okay. So I wasn't too far off.
You're not too far off. The thickness of the load is we're pretty much there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we're pretty much there. I feel like it had something to do with chemistry or something.
Do you ever test the thickness of your load?
No, I've never tested it, but other people have.
How exactly have they tested it? Orally, rectal?
I don't. It depends on what kind of load we're talking about here.
Well, what kind of load do you want to talk about? Like this is up to you.
I don't know. I got a load of things on my mind right now.
So
and they're all dirty.
Where I'm going with it, it's the podcast is sponsored by the Mudman. He's gonna love
the Mudman.
The Mudman,
the Mudman. Stay dirty.
Load in the mud, yeah.
Put your load in. That sounds like a good washing machine commercial.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife's a good washing. Never mind. I don't know where I'm gonna go with that one. Anyway, where I'm going with this is the podcast is sponsored by the Mudman. www.mudmanmarket.com for all your laboratory testing equipment and drilling fluid needs. Put your load in it.
Put your load in it.
Put your load.
Too easy.
Get it in her.
What's the viscosity?
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I was the first episode that was sponsored by the Mudman, or one of the first.
I think it was one of the first that was sponsored by the Mudman.
And our conversation about viscosity went completely off the rails. And I have my wife with me on the podcast with it because she's a blue collar girl. So he had us on to talk about being blue collar and working away and all that jazz. And the viscosity thing came up, and it went sideways.
Yeah.
Invite the Mudman to your next bukkake party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring your beakers.
Bring your beakers. That's the word I was thinking about. The old glass jar, the beaker viscosity. It's right up in there in my all the things you forget.
We're having a Bunsen burner.
Yeah, dude. The Bunsen burner.
Yeah. No, the Mudman's a solid dude. He recently was engaged, so shout out to him. We're still working on getting our own sponsor on the podcast. It hasn't happened yet. He's been super busy. He's been super busy. I can't hold it against him. He listens though. He takes time out to listen, and he knows we're talking.
It's not a thing that you can rush. You got to take your time and put some care into viscosity.
That's right. If you know what? Viscosity is not a thing you can rush. Take care of your load while you still can. Right? Before your body. See, that just takes it. Yeah. No. Take care of your load while you still can.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. Oh boy. So yeah, hey, do you think you could play us Rage In, like perform it?
Like without the beat?
Fuck, play.
Oh no, put it on. I'll do it with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I probably could get it on here.
Is Carolyn in the background?
No, that's an American flag.
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. She had to go to she might be back now. She had to go to a work meeting in Prescott to a place that she works once a month at the bar.
Sweet.
But yeah.
Work meetings at the bar. Cheers to that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, she works there just so she can, she said she really missed talking shit to people. And she used to be the best bartender in Prescott, but real estate got too busy and she couldn't do it anymore. And a lot of people miss her. It was fun for me because I just got to go down there, sit across from her, and just enjoy. I'm sure it wasn't that fun for her, but yeah. I'll throw on. Oh, I feel like there was definitely some times where she would disagree with that, but I feel like I was her most consistent customer. And then she got lucky. She got to bring me home afterwards, which just is, yeah. Well, that I had to do.
The whole thing?
Yeah. I gave her a tip every time, no doubt. It's not like I was stiffing her.
What kind of tip are we talking about?
Well, at the time, I was talking about a money tip, but if I could hold my shit just together enough till, they get out of there at 3, 4 in the morning, I would definitely be down to give her the tip when she got home. But
Yeah. You're giving
then
her a bag. Yeah.
that's when you find out. That's when you get home though, and you find out that like you're just thinking that she's drinking the whole time with you, and you're like, God, that was a good night. And she's like, was it? Yeah. like she's sitting there drinking a Red Bull. Like, dude, you guys were so fucking dumb. The stuff you were talking about. No, she pretty much embraces everything that we do. So if we were down there getting a little wild, she'd tell us.
I love that. That's a supportive woman right there.
Oh, she's as supportive as they come. I can't give her enough credit. And what she.
I appreciate that because I also have one because I can be a handful myself.
Yeah.
Ooh, I give my wife a handful.
But
yeah, well,
they can be hand in hand with us too once in a while, or most of the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they can be a handful too, but I feel like I definitely have done more things that like would probably make more people run away, and she just like embraces it. She's like, "This ain't nothing."
That's my man.
So yeah. So when she is a handful, I'm like, right there. I can't just act like, oh, just because you're a handful today, like I wasn't the last 6. Like she's had to do a lot. That's right. And one thing I also want to say, she DJ'd for me like my first 6 out-of-state shows because I would have had to pay somebody that we couldn't really facilitate to come with us on the, like we might be going out on just a minimal budget and we got to bring them with us. No, we made it kind of a couple's vacation / Dirty Prescott Kids adventure. So she, even though she didn't want to, she hopped up in that DJ booth and played all my songs for me. Stick the hands up when she needed to. So I'll never forget that.
She's your ride or die. She's your ride or die.
Dude, no doubt.
So I've noticed with my wife, and it's like that with your wife and definitely Billy's wife. I work away for like weeks at a time. Like right now I'm in exactly the middle of a 6-week hitch away from home. And, so that's already hard. But then she embraces the social media aspect of it too, right? Like, so when I'm gone and when I have a little bit of free time, she's come to terms with the fact that some of my downtime is not going to be, isn't going to be for her, right? This is my outlet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I need to decompress too, and this is how I do it, and she respects that, So we've had lots of conversations about it. There are nights where I go live on TikTok, and then there are nights where she's like, "Hey, not tonight. Come talk to me," right? And it's like, all right, we'll shut her down. We'll spend time together for sure. So that's and I love that. I love that she's down to clown, right?
Yeah, she's down to clown.
She's dirty.
And she's dirty. That is awesome though, because I feel the same way. Like sometimes I'm like, yo, like I gotta do this podcast. I know like previous long time ago girlfriends that I dated would have thought 90% of the stuff that I'm doing now is like unless you're making $1 million, that's nothing what you're doing. But she sees every little thing that I say I got to do as a thing of value. Like I say, I'm going to go get on this podcast. She doesn't say, what is it, Joe Rogan? She goes, sounds good. Hope it goes good.
That's next.
Perfect.
Right? Who knows?
Yeah, well,
on the throne with Dick leads to Joe Rogan or not Jordan Peterson, maybe. But maybe Theo Vaughn comes calling. Maybe Theo Vaughn.
Maybe DPK leads to Joe Rogan being on the throne podcast.
Dude, we could get Joe on here. Hey, Joe, are you down? I feel like I would be down to do all those podcasts, but as much as I'm a fan of Jordan Peterson, I don't think I'd need him psychoanalyzing me like that. You know what I mean? I don't want to find out what's that deep in my brain, dude. I'd rather talk to Theo Vaughn. I'm more on his like plane.
Yeah, I love that guy's podcast. I listen to it religiously.
I know. I actually think he might be. I've came to the conclusion. I think Theo Vaughn might be a super genius, and the way he like portrays himself is like this. It's like part of the genius. Like he's smarter than the people he's talking to.
Oh, you can tell he comes across as his own self, portraying himself as being not intelligent.
Yeah.
But just the way he talks, you
by
can
design.
Tell he's smarter than he portrays himself.
He comes up with every response is like this, but he says these like off the cuff things that you're like, where did that come from? Like I don't.
cocaine.
You're
Yeah,
just
yeah,
you're just catching it on or cluing into what he's just said, and he's already on to the next.
yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Your brain can't keep up with what he's doing, right? You're
No,
laughing at this, and he's already over here,
yeah.
right?
Oh
And
my
then your
god.
brain catches up to that, and you're like, and he's like, oh man, I fucking love the guy.
There's so many times I won't even be able to remember all my favorite quotes, but like the one when he was saying he's like imagine if there's like some Chinese guy sitting there and he's like, last night we let the liquor talk,
Yeah.
and then they're like, what? Like that ain't Chinese. And what was with the I don't know, like his response to everything. He was talking to Hulk Hogan. You could tell Hulk Hogan like he got wide eyed a couple of times. Like, what, brother? I don't know.
Now, his
He's
knowledge
a
of
genius.
wrestling, I don't know if he
Yeah,
studied when he had Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan on, or if he just has a wide knowledge of wrestling. But when Ric
it
Flair
sounds
was
like he
on
does.
him, yeah, that guy
Yeah,
like knew a lot, right? It was like, man, I don't like wrestling, but I know who Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair is. Can I have a
dude.
conversation with them about wrestling?
Yeah,
I could probably
yeah,
figure it out. Like, just wing it as I go. But like, he didn't wing that.
dude. He was naming like people on like those tiny organizations and shit that they like.
Yep.
These guys would know him. None of us would. And he's like, yeah, I used to watch that side wrestling thing, and he's naming people off, and they're like, oh yeah, I know him. I know him. Like, I think they were impressed at his wrestling knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I only know shit about wrestling because I had my mom dated this really weird dude when I was younger, and he had a couple kids. One of the kids was obsessed with wrestling, and I actually kind of bonded with this kid, but he was like in high school and we were like in elementary school, and this kid would just be like, all right, here's what we're gonna do, boys. We're gonna go outside. I'm gonna test all these wrestling moves on you because I'm going to be a wrestler someday. So me and my brother were out there just getting the shit kicked out of us, like getting the last ride from Undertaker, choke slam from hell, sweet chin music. Like he was just dropping us. And then we'd go upstairs and play GameCube like it never happened. And my mom's always like, where'd you get that fat lip? And it was like, oh, Paul just gave Colton the last ride outside and I tried to back him up and then he scissor kicked me in the face. And I don't think he ever made it into the pro wrestling, but it was a great childhood memory. One time he pulled a Happy Gilmore and we're at a swing set, and this kid, he said he was training for the wrestling like Ultimate Fighter or whatever that was, and he was letting us swing as high as we could, and he'd step in front of us and let us just blast him in the chest, just kick him, and he was just training for wrestling. So we just did it.
Hey, Billy, is that Amanda behind you?
Yeah, she just got home from Girls' Weekend, so I apologize.
Big shout out to Amanda. What's up, Amanda? How are you?
What's up, Amanda?
Amanda.
Come say
There's
hi.
your ride or die. Your ride or dies in the house.
Hi,
Amanda. What's up?
Oh, nothing much. Just dying.
Dying? What are you
on
doing?
a girls' run for like a 10K run in Banff. So.
Ooh.
So,
Sounds fun.
Good for you. How are those quads?
yeah, they're sore.
You look good. You've lost a lot of weight during that run.
A lot of confidence, yes.
Oh man. Well,
I don't think I'd even want to run a 1K right now.
No. On the best of days.
Yeah.
You couldn't pay me to run a 10K. Never mind pay you to participate.
Yeah. I got to work on that.
Do you know what a 1K is? You're on them freedom units. No.
Oh.
Travis.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess like in my units, like 1K would be like around the block probably.
I think it's like 5.5 mile, like a point.
Well, like a 5K is like what? 3 miles, 3.2.
6 miles is 10 kilometers.
6 miles, 10 kilometers. Because I feel like when they have like they're like, oh, we're having the Gobblegate 5K or whatever. It's like three and some change or something.
What's a Gobblegate? What is that? That's
like the weird people in the United States that run the morning after Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving morning or whatever, because Wednesday is like the biggest bar night of the United States. Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and some families go and run the next day, and some families just bask in their hangovers.
Yeah.
My family was not the runners.
Mine wouldn't have been runners either.
Oh, they were runners. They were just beer runners.
Yeah, beer runners or running from the cops or whatever. But no, you go down Wednesday before Thanksgiving. This is party.
I'd have to be on the sidelines with like a 6-pack of PBRs or something, like cheering them on.
Yeah.
You won't catch my ass with a number on my chest running down those roads.
Dude. I did run cross country 1 year of my life in high school, freshman year, because it was the only way I could make the poster, like varsity. And although I was impressed with how good a shape I got in, gosh, is that sport hard to get good at. Like, you just got to just keep, there's no way to get good other than running. You just run. Hills. Like, I don't know. I would like to do a marathon someday, but I don't think I will.
I will not be doing that.
No, I'm good.
Like, I kind of would like to know I did it somehow. Something in me tells me, like, dude, wouldn't that be sweet?
You want to have the physique where you could potentially do it. I am so far beyond that it's just not possible anymore.
Physically, he's got the heart of a lion, but like, or the physique of a lion anyways, but are you heart healthy?
Me?
Yeah.
I guess it's been a while since I found out. I think it's all right.
Start eating them Cheerios, bud.
We all know Cheerios don't do a damn thing for your heart.
Well, that's not what the box says.
That's not what the box says. The box is lying. It's like, may help lower your cholesterol. No. I'm not even going to get into that, but Cheerios, no. I do stay in pretty good shape. I don't really work out as much anymore, but iron work and all kinds of other things keep me in shape.
Well, like what?
Caroline.
Sweet.
Jumping around on stage, carrying logs, swinging axes.
Because I haven't even been in those lights, but I've been near them. And just being on stage in those lights without jumping around, it's gotta be hot.
Oh, it's hot. Yeah. They got so many damn things pointed down at you, and you don't really like notice it till you're up, and you're nervous. Like you're already sweating. When I get out there. But when people try to hug you afterwards, that's one thing I'm like, okay. Like,
it's on you.
Oh, yeah, it is on you because I am sweating bad. One time I did sell.
I was going to say the nerves thing because I emceed my very first event ever yesterday. I've never done it before. Yeah. And there was only probably a couple hundred, like 300 people, maybe 400 people there, right? Just walking around. And people, it was outside. So, I think people were like walking around and checking things out. And I get on the mic the first time she hands me the mic. And I'm like, what the fuck do I say? Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. So I start talking and I'm like shaking and like I'm sweating. And, oh, dude, it was crazy. I can talk through a phone screen.
I didn't expect that to come out of your mouth, actually. I thought, dude, well, you seem super excited about it.
I am. Yeah. I was
a talker.
And after I realized that nobody was fucking listening to what I was saying anyways, because they were walking around doing their thing, I was like, this is easy. Buddy next to me, though, he was laughing at everything I had to say. So basically, I was just, emceeing for this guy all day. And I'm like, fuck yeah, this guy gets it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
that's my dog.
The event planner came over and was like, hey, you did great today. I'm like, are you just saying that or what? Because I felt like I loved it, but did they love it? She's like, no. You can't hear what they're doing way the fuck over there. But every time you talked, everyone chuckled. Right? It was just, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I'm saying,
good.
Right? Like that made me feel so good, and I can't wait to do it again.
Sweet. Nice. It is a different experience going up and talking on a microphone to any crowd. Yeah. Some people would never even attempt it. I give credit to anyone that does. I've done a couple weddings, which I want to retire from that business. But goddamn, does it feel weird to have that amount of power in your shoulders? Like, the bride could hate you for the rest of your life if you fuck this up.
Yeah.
And everyone's just sitting there thinking like, faster you're done, the faster we get to eat and drink. Like they don't really care what you say, but they also do. Like they would never forget it if you mess it up. I got more nervous for that than I did my concerts,
Really?
Wow.
It is a big, because every wedding that I've been a part of in like the wedding party, I've been the best man.
Yeah.
So like I've done epic speeches for every single one of them, and I will never do another one. But the fact that like my friends know who I am, and they know that you never know what's going to come out of this mouth,
especially when you're drunk.
And they gave me a microphone in front of their parents and grandparents on their special day. I mean, I'm considerate. I'm still a nice guy. I would never do.
Sure.
I mean, I took a couple shots, just to be funny. But I didn't disappoint them. But there was some people that were just like so nervous as soon as I got the microphone. Like, what's going to happen here?
So my thing was a family-friendly event. There were children around, so I had to like that also helped me like, hey, I gotta watch what I say. I couldn't even. They asked me to be the DJ halfway through as well, like try to like because someone had to go, and I'm like, is Shaggy wasn't me okay, and that was too much. So I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like adding songs desperately to this playlist, but. So as the MC, I figured this out on my own. I got to go around to each of the sponsors and all the events and the tables that are there and talk to each one of them, get to know what they do. So when I shout them out, I can kind of add something to it. There was this old lady there who had canned goods, and her name was Anne, right? And I'm like, do you guys often find yourself in a pickle or a jam and don't know what to do? Anne's cans, Anne's cans to the rescue. Right. And I just talked about Anne's cans for like 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes, right? And like she's an old lady. Yeah. Afterwards, you could see her laughing. She loved it.
Yeah.
Right? No one's talked about Anne's cans in quite a while, So
right off the gate with the pickle or a jam thing right off the gate, I'm like, okay, this guy gets these puns. Like this is good.
Yeah. Yeah, and
that's
I
good.
had a buddy that told me that, when you're emceeing events, people come and go. So it's like a lot. You got to repeat yourself a bit, right?
Yeah.
It's okay to repeat yourself every hour or so. I didn't repeat myself once. I was like,
really?
Fuck, I got this. Right. So I'm like, one of the first things I said, I brought out one of the big guns first because I was nervous and I didn't know where to go with it. So I'm like, so I got a buddy that tells me, these things I can repeat myself when I'm talking, right? People come and they go and, I can just repeat it. So it'll be a lot like talking to roughnecks, right? And just buddy beside me starts laughing again. He's rocking Heat Waves, by the way. Buddy beside me starts laughing. And I'm like, this guy fucking gets it, right? Like, yeah. And, water haulers, notorious crayon eaters over at the kids section. I was like, hey, there's a kids section on the other side, coloring, bouncy castles, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, water haulers, please leave the crayons alone. Right? And I went on with my time. Buddy's fucking busted a gut. I should have got his phone number is what I should have did.
I don't know if I would be good at like talking for like long periods of time. Like if I was on a microphone too long, I think I would just start saying shit I can't come back from.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why I had to get into the mindset. There were children there. And I'm like, okay, there's children here, yada, yada, yada. Originally, they wanted me from 2 to 6. She messaged me at 12:30. He's like, hey, can you be here for 1? And I'm like 5 minutes away. I'm like, yeah, that gives me a whole other hour of talking, right?
Oh,
like,
geez.
Oh, shit, right? So
I would get so flustered, I would probably just start swearing. And like, that would be my whole speech would just be like, fuck, what do we talk about? Fuck, shit, what?
I was
on that same note, like that, when you said the kids thing, I just got to... When I was put out my music, I always put like parental advisory things on it and like explicit, not that ever deters anyone anyways, but it's a good start.
Yeah.
And at first, it took me a while to like grasp how many parents send me videos of their kids jamming out to my music. And like, it's the parents showing them. But at first, I was like super uncomfortable. I was like, what is happening? Like, why are you showing a little kid this music? Not that it's bad. I got into explicit music. My parents let me listen to things, but as we like kind of went on like down this like road, I'll do these concerts, and these parents got their kids out there, and you're thinking like, should I amend what I'm about to say? Why is their kids front stage, what on the parents' shoulders? And then the parents are telling me, hey, you're far from the worst thing these kids could be hearing. You're actually, in my eyes, a good influence, and my kids love your music, or they love what you did in this video or whatever. And seeing the kids light up when you come and like hang out with them, take pictures afterwards and everything, it's amazing. And I'll do anything for the kids. But I did not expect people to be bringing their kids to these concerts because my mouth is dirty, dude.
I mean, you swear in your music, but you
a
don't
lot.
have that many. Well, yeah, but like, what's the worst line in one of your songs that you think that wouldn't be advisable for children to hear?
In my opinion, I don't think it really matters because I don't have kids.
Well,
but I just assume that because I drop the F-bomb constantly, like, it's probably not for them. I don't think I'm saying anything that they shouldn't hear. Certainly seeing the influences that they see now on TikTok and stuff, I'm actually glad they like my videos because I can semi kind of guide them in the right direction. But dang, I was just not prepared to know that kids were listening to this shit.
I'm sure it's different, and I don't know what it's like. But again, to me, like, fuck work. I'm gonna go down to the Keys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not bad, man. When we were like little, do you remember when Eminem released Kim?
Yeah. Oh fuck.
Dude. There you go.
You're talking.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
You're talking about
skipping work.
Advisory. You're talking about skipping work to go on vacation.
Right.
And Eminem's literally like, I got this bitch locked up in my trunk. If you don't message me back, she's pregnant too, by the way.
And I was a young kid when I first obtained that CD, so I can see it from both sides. Yes, I totally agree with you. I just wasn't prepared to like look out at the crowd and say some some of the songs, I don't even have a good reference, but like even saying fuck in general, just a fuck, and then you're like
a child.
It's just like a kid up on someone's shoulders or whatever. But like I mean, I try not to point at them when I say it, but metaphorically, I'm just saying I see everyone in the crowd. I'm like, holy shit! I don't want to swear, but every one of the songs I have is littered with them. I only have one song that didn't swear, and I did it on purpose, but I got over it because I realized I'm not inviting these kids to the concert. Their parents are bringing them. And they said, hey, these ain't your kids. What are you worried about? And actually, that just reminded me, that was the first video that we ever had that went viral way before One Way Ticket. We had, during COVID, we had a backyard party at my mom's, and a bunch of random people showed up from the neighborhood. They said, there's no live music. Would you provide some? I was like, sure. And I got back there, and there was like some people's grandparents, which I thought was weird. And there was kids. And then there was a bunch of friends I hung out with at the bars. I was like, who brought the grandparents and who brought the kids? And this girl's like, well, they're not your kids. They listen to your music all the time. I'm their mom. I show them. What are you worried about? And I was like, fair enough. So I went out. I did my song, probably on one of the most swearing songs I have. These kids were in my mom's like inflatable hot tub, and they were vibing out. And Caroline took a video so strategically that it looked like they were the only ones there. And I'm up on the deck saying fucking, I think it was my song CFDT, which is like, the chorus is like, all my dogs fucked up. Don't spin it. I'll see you motherfuckers downtown in a minute. And these kids, this girl's like, and she's vibing out. And she tagged it as when you hired the wrong guy for your kid's birthday party. Yeah. And it went off, and all the comments were 50-50. Some people were like, how do I hire this guy for my kid's birthday party? And then it was like if that guy showed up to my house, I'd rip his fucking head out. Like it was like, I don't know, it went both ways, but it went off, and most people were just asking him, "What's the song?"
Yeah.
And there was so many more adults in the yard, but it looked like just two little kids in a hot tub vibing out to me, swearing on a deck.
That's hilarious.
We need to get Ray Gin going. Was what we need to do.
All right, so I don't even. I mean, we're just gonna have to play it out the speakers, and I'm just gonna. That's how we're gonna do it.
I'm in.
All right.
I fucking love that song, man.
All right. Well, we'll take a slight intermission. It'll take me 2 seconds.
Billy, how you been, man?
I'm good, man.
How's Ray?
What? Pardon me?
How's Ray?
I don't know. Can you hear her? Because she's driving me crazy.
I can hear her. I'm getting a puppy soon here.
I'm sorry about that.
I'm getting a Cane Corso.
She, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was hoping you guys couldn't hear, but I knew deep down you could.
Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, she's good. She's still a puppy, and she's very high energy. That's why, I was trying to keep her away, but she was whining at the door about to bark, and that's why I had to grab my iPad and walk over. I'm either gonna give you a swat on the butt, or I can just take the iPad over and let you outside for a few minutes.
Whatever, man. Fuck it. Who cares? It's added background noise. It's what we talk about. The podcast isn't professional. It's real life shit.
Yeah, fair enough.
The dog adds an element of real life. You're doing it at home.
Doesn't know when to stop. I was trying to get her to lay down here, and she did for 10 minutes, and then Amanda walked in the door, and it was all over again.
It's like my kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But probably not nearly as bad.
Here he goes.
Oh, yeah. I got it. Some whiskey and ice. You ready for this?
Ready.
Is that too loud? How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Oh, I just already started it. From the top. From the top.
From the top.
Filling my cup with some whiskey and ice. I finished that in a chunk of Bush Light. Don't give a fuck about liquor for beer, so I guess I'm in the clear. Leaving my phone at the trailer tonight. Anyone else wanna go for a bite? When I say bye, buddy, I mean a dreaming, and we gon' take shots that we puking and sinking. When dancing with everyone, having a ball. Doesn't surprise me, I'm handsome and tall. Spin them around in the kiss when they fall. Got a couple more songs and I'm back in the stall. If you knock on the door, then you're gonna get hit. For all that you know, man, I'm taking the shit. Give me a minute, stop throwing a fit. We're coming in tired, we're throwing that lick on this range. So I can win. Please engage. Someone please show me the stage. Find me a mic, I got something to say. Hire the band, but the dump of the day better fire me up. I got something to play in the song. Feeling like raging. I'm feeling like raging. I'm feeling like raging, so rage is what I'm gonna do. Me a favor and buy me a shot. I toss you a 20, that's all that I got. Not all I got, but it's part of my pot. When you're playing the music, you don't fire up. Like a stop machine now, I can play when I wanna. Time to stop this, I'm playing, you're gonna. So let me in dollars and nickels and quarters, and I'ma keep playing, you're paying the support. I'ma go crazy, my pupils are hazy. I'm drinking chicken, it's goddamn it, it's tasty. My boots are no Casey, I'm looking like Swayze, and I got a girl in the good in some days. I'm feeling lazy, I just feel like raging. I'm stuck in the cage, I was up in the case. I've been slow in the race, but it's still in the ground. Thank you, responsible, holding up down in the zone. I heard the wind, take me home is the place where we go up the bar. Tell them no, it's not far, tell them no to the car. Follow me there, you there in the day. The trillion copies for legends I made in the song. Feeling like raging, yeah. I'm feeling like raging. I'm feeling like raging. So raging's what I'm gonna do. Getting drunk tonight. Getting fucked tonight. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells me to. I get this feeling like I'm suck when I'm around you. So I just wanna get drunk, go downtown with you. Getting drunk tonight, getting fucked tonight. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells me to. I get this feeling I don't suck when I'm around you. So I just wanna get drunk, go downtown with. I stumble around and I look in the fridge. I'm looking for something like leftover ribs. Been there 3 days, but they smelling okay. Shit, either way, it's been a hell of a day.
Hell yeah.
Been a hell of a day.
You know, when I sing that song to myself in my truck, I don't realize how much breath it actually takes to get through one of those verses.
I know. Sometimes when I'm trying to figure out a way, I realized recently, that's a whole nother conversation, but a lot of rappers rap over their actual song. Now, when I do a live performance, that was just the easiest way. It was just click on Spotify. But and in live, I just play the beat. So when I need to take a breath ever, if I accidentally run out of one because I'm just going too hard, it just goes straight to the beat. And I'm like, I wonder if I could find a way to like you either need a hype man or strategically put the words in there when you know you're going too far.
You're gonna run out of breath.
Yeah, and like just have just 1 second to go and just keep it going. But yeah. I have found a way to like calm myself down so I can pretty much get through it. But yeah, I crammed a lot of damn words into that song.
Yeah, you did.
And recently I have told myself, like, maybe I should make some songs that are a little calmer, a little easier to get through, because it seems like every song I release has a shit ton of words. And yeah.
Do you know who I compare you to?
No, I do not know who.
Like Canadian-wise, and Billy knows what I'm going to say probably. Your love for Wisconsin, right? And like surrounding areas, right? You're kind of like fucking what am I getting? The Tragically Hip.
Right? What is that?
But like different kind of music. But like, you know, same kind of thing though, right? You rap or sing about things that fucking matter to you.
Yeah.
Right? And Gord Downey and the Tragically Hip, they sung about things that mattered to them and were very Canadian, right? Like they could have been so much bigger than Canada. They didn't give a fuck about that. They're like
I was
Canada.
surprised by that. Like I just thought Tragically Hip because they're so big here that just everybody knew who they were. Not the case.
Yeah.
Not the case at all.
Nobody, I think that's where like a good portion of the people in my community didn't take it very seriously. Like there was a good amount of people that loved hearing the references, but I don't think a lot of people thought it would ever transcend that because I was being so specific. But I guess when I was writing it, it was a combination of me not really giving a shit, like the topics I'm talking about, what I want to talk about. But also, I imagine that same style, like I believe Prescott existed everywhere, every state, every country. There's like that vibe, and people could find like the relation in it, even though they're like, yeah, I might not be from Prescott, but you're damn right I do all that same shit. And one day, it took like 10 years, but one day I did find out that Prescott exists all the fuck over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
And it was awesome.
I'm pretty well traveled over all of Canada and most of the United States. And just like you said, when you generalize things like the Northern Boys, that can transition from Wisconsin to like the Dakotas.
That's gonna slap.
And Canada, right?
Sure.
You can make it relate to your life as much as possible. But also when like the Southern boys start talking about being from the South, if you just generalize it, like somebody can find a way to personalize that to themselves and make it personal to them.
Yeah.
And then it's important. Then it's special.
You know damn well that when Northern Boys comes, it's not out yet, right? Like
no, it comes out in 29.
You know
I'm
damn well.
I'm doing a video on it.
You know damn well that when the Northern Boys song comes out, everybody in Northern Canada, especially in the oil patch, way up fucking north,
I want to be one of the first ones. I want to be one of the first ones too.
Like,
TikTok, I want to do it.
Yeah, dude. I like my verse, which probably won't be like the TikTok part of it, but Like my verse on there, I started it off with I represent the northern states, freezing cold but a gorgeous place. You might go nuts in the winter time when you're stuck inside like a Norman Bates. And I was like, dude, like I was imagining like the time in the winter when there's literally nothing to do but be inside and you go a little bit nuts. A lot of people that like the places I'm going and performing this shit in the South, they think it's cold when it's like 60 degrees out. And I'm like, dude, we're from places where it gets like negative 45 and you don't really like life doesn't halt. Like most people like you're still working outside, you're still going to the bars, you're still doing all this, but like, yeah, you try to stay inside if you're allowed to. But anyways, yes, I did start to learn that it was important to like not be so specific in the beginning. Like my first 5 songs, it was like Prescott this, Prescott that. And I was like 21, 22. So that's all I knew.
Too, right? I mean, you still got to rep where you came from.
Yeah.
But now
I didn't know that people were, I almost wanted the people downtown to hear it when I made music at first. Right. Like, it was like, so I could bring this downtown and be like, yo, check out what we just made up at the house. Yeah. I didn't know that, like our song Ronnie D, that was like an inside joke in Prescott. I didn't know that all of a sudden, like people were going to be hitting me up asking where they get Ron Diaz. Like that's a $12 bottle of rum. Yeah. I didn't mean to.
And Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Like, I didn't know that was going to be a part of it.
It's massive. But I love that, dude. That's incredible. You know, it's sort of like, remember when I had Donnie Dunphy on? Donnie Dunphy was very similar to that, you know? Like fucking around on a dirt bike downtown Newfoundland. His buddy's filming him. Oh, put on this fur coat, and oh, you need a girlfriend. So his buddy's wife sat on the back of the bike, and her name was Brenda. And like for years, I thought Brenda was his actual fucking girlfriend. Had him on the podcast. Nah, man, we're just fucking around downtown Newfoundland, and Brenda. I'm like, so
I didn't know that until your podcast either.
Yeah, I'm like, are you still with Brenda? And he's like, man, Brenda's probably with her fucking husband and kids right now, man. You know, like,
oh my God,
you're not with her anymore? Oh, I was never with Brenda.
I was never with her. Holy shit.
Brenda. She was just someone that was around. I needed a girlfriend to ride on the back of my bike while I wore a fur coat downtown Newfoundland.
Dude, I think the content creators I see pop up out of Canada is why I have such a, like, I need to fucking, I can't just go up there and perform in one place. Like, I need to tour.
Yeah.
Because I feel like such a relation to the people. I feel like they're like very wild and like, it's almost as if like who I imagined my demographic being, it's more Canadian than I keep getting sent to the South. It's like, dude, this is the people I need to go party with. And I might not even make it back down.
The blue collar.
I might not make it home.
The blue collar Canadian worker would flock to your show.
They show us videos in our apprenticeship. I'm part of local 512 ironworkers, and they show us those Canadian ironworkers, and holy shit, are those guys badass.
Hell yeah.
I would love to even hang out with them for an afternoon, let alone get to do a concert and have some beers afterwards. Okay. But I love them Canadian content creators, though, man. It's a lot of good shit coming out of there.
Make sure you keep us in the loop when you do come up north, though.
It gets better in the winter, man. We got nothing else to do, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was just saying about the up north boys thing. It's like people don't understand that. Wisconsin is very similar to that. It's like people think that like life just ceased to exist when it's like below 40 or something. It's like, dude,
blue collar boys still go work outside.
If anything, the oil patch gets busier the colder it gets. You know, we want -40, -50. We need it.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly where these iron workers are from in this video, but it's like they're working in temperatures that like you wouldn't even think people could survive in. And these guys are up there hanging steel, a couple 100 feet in the air, just fucking thriving. And it's like, dude, talk about a badass.
It's almost like a rite of passage in Canada. You know what I mean? We talk about it
That's
all the time.
awesome.
You know, working out in -40, -50 separates the men from the boys. And if, you know, you can survive here in the wintertime outside in the oil patch, you can survive anywhere.
Dude.
Right?
It's like it doesn't separate the men from the boys. It would separate men from men. Like there's guys that are badass that still would tap out.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
guaranteed.
Oh, yeah.
Like
100%.
I don't know. That's commendable to say the least.
And then a couple weeks ago, we had Riley, you know, the angry driller on. And he was saying,
Yeah.
you know, he bought a couple rigs. He's from Canada, but he works in North Dakota, and it's fucking cold in North Dakota. And he
Sure.
said, you know, I appreciate when the guys have heart. Buddy came in from, I think he was a banker or a car salesman or something. I think it was a car salesman. Buddy came in as a car salesman looking for a job on a rig. Never worked a rig in his entire life. Come in the wintertime. Drove the 3-day drive from fucking down south to North Dakota to try his hat at being a rig hand. The coldest winter North Dakota's ever had. This guy was literally dying. He was struggling. But at the end of the winter, guess who was still standing? The guy who had never done it before over guys that had been seasoned veterans. The guy had heart. He wanted it. He wanted the money. He wanted the experience. Doesn't matter how cold it got, how much he hated it. He was still there.
Yeah. And I think that's a good portion of people. It's like there's something driving you to do it. It's not like you're like, oh, I love this -45-degree weather. It's just like, dude, like there's something that drives us all. Yeah, no one loves that. If you say you do, you might be lying.
You are lying.
Probably lying.
I like doing it for the videos I can make in it, but that's about it.
Dude, I know, because your mustache freezes and you have icicles and you're just like.
Your eyelashes do too, man.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, how do you think I earned the name Dick Frost, guys? It happened during a polar vortex. It was -50 outside. I'm spraying steam. I had to stand downwind from it because there were consultants on the other side. So I had to stand downwind. And, you know, at the end of it, I got like a 3-inch layer of ice on my hard hat. Icicles hanging off my glasses. Mustache just covered. I couldn't take my rain gear off because it wouldn't unzip. It was frozen. I had to take it off over my head, and it stood up on its own. And that's the day Dick Frost was born, man. Like
that's the day Dick Frost was born. That's
Dick Frost transcends TikTok, right? Like it started like a year or so before TikTok was even a thing,
right?
And then
so that folklore exists up there. That's awesome.
It existed in our circle with my boss. My boss thought it was funny that because I posted a picture of it on Facebook, and -48 polar vortex. Guys, say hi to Dick Frost. And my boss comes out the next morning. He's like, "What's up, Dick Frost?"
What's up, Dick Frost?
Looking back on that now, like where I've taken it, it's just unfucking believable, dude. Like I've had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Hey, I don't want to keep you too much longer, buddy.
All right.
I don't want to keep you too much longer, but you know, we like to wrap the show up by asking one last question. And well, first of all, Billy, you got anything you want to add or say or what?
No, I'm good. I'm waiting to hear the final question.
All right.
I know what's coming. He don't.
Shit.
So Mount Rushmore has 4 of the most influential people in history, North American history on it. Americans say American, whatever, yada, yada, yada. If you had your own Mount Rushmore and you had to choose 4 people that have influenced you the most or that you look up to, who would they be and why?
Oh, my Lord. Most influential people for me. I would have to say my grandma, number one, wouldn't exist without her. She was a extremely influential person in my life. Taught me more about life than my parents could. Gosh, this is tough. Most influential people, even if you didn't meet them, or just people that like No,
Anybody, man.
It can't be people you didn't meet.
Oh
Nah,
yeah.
it could be people you didn't meet that, just their existence for you, even if you didn't get to meet them, just knowing about them influenced you.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's got to be at least one that's not like super sentimental. So I would put my grandmother on there. I would put my parents on there because I love them too, and they taught me a lot. And then I think I'd put Mr. Rob Ritchie, Kid Rock, on there because he's who taught me how to have an attitude and not give a flying fuck.
That is not a bad answer at all.
That is a badass answer, dude. I fucking love that. That is.
I can't just have like three sappy people. Like, these are the people that taught me life, but this is the guy over here, and like I'm a huge fan of him. I know one day I'll get to meet him.
You give massive Kid Rock vibes. That's for sure.
Oh man,
fuck yeah.
I appreciate that. I had the opportunity to be in his We the People video. His the guy that filmed the video, his wife saw me. The second the We the People song came out, I was just all over it on TikTok, and she's like, "You should get this guy in the video." He had us come down to Nashville to get in the video, and I was convinced, like, we're obviously going to meet him to be in his music video. I did not get to meet him, but I did get to be getting to go down to Nashville to be in Kid Rock's music video alone was a dream come true. But yeah. I think that was like the seed planted to get to meet him in the first place. But yeah, I'm gonna throw him on my Mount Rushmore, no doubt.
Fuck, dude, why wouldn't you, dude?
Yeah,
I've been thinking that the whole podcast, but way before that, for months, the last year or so, this guy is like Kid Rock, the younger version. Yeah.
Did you ever by chance see the video when we some people took it the way I wanted them to, but some people thought I was just copying them. It was a blatant copy on purpose, if anything. But I like took his like Woodstock '99 like red Adidas outfit with like the big red hat, which I got made by Creative Crowns, a fellow Canadian. He sent me that fucking hat, custom made for me, called the American Badass. But I got some Adidas pants and like some Adidas shoes, and we went running down the streets of Prescott, just doing this shit. And man,
my name is D.
Yeah. That's how I should start my fucking show. Like, same fucking vibe.
Oh shit!
It's not, and I never wanted to copy him for any reason. I just was such a fan. He taught me the attitude and like everything that kind of became my music that I can't not give him the props on that. Like, I never would not want to say that he was a giant influence on me, because he was.
Fuck yeah.
I think that's what the best answer that has ever come out of your podcast from that question, in my opinion.
I think it's got to be up there, man. Right up there, I think Gord's dad, because Gord's dad's fucking badass. But yeah, no, that's
that
probably
one and
one
Teddy,
of the better
Teddy
answers, man. Yeah, Teddy's pretty good too.
Well, what most people's answers just do, other people answer it with like more just people that influence them, or they name people like in their actual life.
Yeah, more of like people in their actual life. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty badass though. It's not.
I wasn't gonna go all for it. Yeah, I wasn't gonna go all for like just straight up like, well, these people, they changed my life so much, because they did. That guy. That's why I gave the first three to my mains. But Kid Rock also raised me, and he doesn't even know it.
Oh shit! I gotta know from both of you. What are both of your favorite songs of Kid Rock's favorites? Yeah.
Bow with the bow. I think the song that I like just resonate most with is "You Never Met a Motherfucker Quite Like Me." But no, I love so many of them.
So I do like Ba with the Ba, right? But my favorite album of Kid Rock's of all time, and like I don't know what it is, but Rock and Roll Jesus was my fucking favorite album of all time.
I did love when he started like really like singing. Like, that was like impressive as fuck that he did that. I didn't see that coming, because I grew up on the rap Kid Rock.
Yeah.
But I knew he could sing, because only God knows why. Oh, he's talented.
Big time.
If you go to
Blue Jeans and a Rosary is probably my fucking one of my favorite Kid Rock songs, and that album was everything.
Yeah, I think of the song when he got into the singing stuff. First Kiss. I don't know why, but that fucking song just it's like it reminds me of like it's reminiscent of the stuff my parents used to listen to, but it's Kid Rock. Like it's very weird. Like it's a great song, but I like that just wild rap and Kid Rock, like Wasting Time and Bull God and all that shit.
It's right up there with for me with the first time I heard Eminem apologize to his mother in his Headlights.
You know? Yeah,
Man,
that was
that
like
fucking song. You spent 15 years listening to the guy bag on his mom.
yeah.
And then Headlights comes out. And he's like, "Hey, I fucking love you, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry." Cleaning out my closet at the time, I was angry, maybe rightfully so. But now I cringe every time it comes on the radio, right?
Yep.
And it's like, fuck, dude. Like we've all been there with our parents. Me, like not yet, but like fuck you, Dad. But no, like, but like,
I've had a wild road with my parents as well.
Me too.
yeah.
But the difference is that with Eminem, and I do feel for him on this, and I think about that song, is like you cannot. You could try everything in your power. You could spend every dollar you have, which is a lot of dollars, and you could never erase that song, and that every generation of kids knows the words like
Every
that.
single
Like
word.
it's stained in time. He can't erase that he said that. Whereas like the fights I've had with my parents, the things that I've done, I can say, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry I got turned. I'm sorry I said that. But like that song is on wax forever.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone knows the words. Like
Yep.
Cleaning Out My Closet was on the fucking radio, dude. I remember hearing it on the radio. I remember hearing a comedian say like,
Still there.
I heard a comedian say one time, she said, "Oh, I like that song, Cleaning Out My Closet. I tell my kids, if Eminem can clean his room, so can you."
Yeah.
Like, it was on the damn radio.
For generations of Eminem fans, right? Like we're talking to like the older generation, right? They got the mental health shit from that, and then like they move slowly into his healing, right?
Yeah.
And some generations are just only there for the healing. Now they have to go back because when they heard Headlights, some of them have probably never ever heard Cleaning Out My Closet, and their parents or their older siblings or uncles or whatever were like, "Wow, you need to go hear what he was saying 15 years earlier."
Yeah.
Not
Oh my
even,
God.
right? And it's like, damn, bro, like,
Yeah.
like we're here for the healing shit.
Which tells you though, like if there's anything you can take away from that, is if Eminem can come back from that, then don't you dare hold on to a grudge your whole fucking life thinking that somebody did something to you that's so bad you can't say sorry, because Eminem came back from everything with his mom. So that says quite a bit.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Guys, this has been fucking fun, And
Yeah, it was fun, man.
TPK, man, like I'm so glad I kept harassing you for like literally a year. Like,
yeah, bro.
Harassment. I really stepped my game up the last 4 or 5 months, though. I fucking, threads, Instagram, got on your live. Just fucking, I thought you were going to press assault charges or something. Maybe.
Oh, no.
Dude, I was like, hell yeah, let's harass, right? And then today in your live, I even said, tell me to shut up if I'm going too far, And then I just kept going and pressing. So, and here we are. We made it happen.
Hey, to tell you the truth, I respected the game a while ago, the way you were coming at me. I knew I was going to do this at some point. I'm glad it happened. Now you just got to give me like another year or so to take over a little bit more, and I'll come back on.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. And we'll have Billy come on too next time as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was good to get the gang together for this one. That was good shit.
I'm glad I could be a part of it. It was
I'm glad you were here too. It wouldn't be the same without you.
Hell yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the hell out of it. So, hey, you stay frosty.
Hey, and you stay dirty.
Oh,
later, boys.
I'm staying. Hey, and what's your call sign? What's your fucking sign off?
Yeah, what's your sign up?
Fucked off or something. I don't know.
Just stay inside her or get inside her, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just inside her. It's as far as I can get.
Yeah. Stay dirty, stay frosty, and stay just inside
Hell
her. Thanks, guys. Hey,
yeah.
stay frosty.
Yeah, buddy.
Can you hear the music yet?
I can.
Oh, you can hear it. He's gone now.
So I gotta go